If I'm honest, I wasn't planning on playing Assassin's Creed Brotherhood or Assassin's Creed Revelations. I'd never touched either before, and based on the naming alone, I just assumed they were spin-offs, something optional. I had my eyes set on Assassin's Creed 3 and Black Flag, the games I was actually really keen to play, but the internet disagreed, so I reluctantly uninstalled AC3, installed Brotherhood, and went in planning to just push through. What surprised me was that I ended up enjoying it far more than I expected, even though it's definitely not perfect. So this is my retrospective review of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. When it comes to audio, Brotherhood feels like coming home. It's safe, familiar, and nostalgic.
Welcome home.
Recapturing those same emotions from your first playthrough of Assassin's Creed 2. The identity is still there, but it's been refined. There's a bit more intensity in places, a bit more flavour. But the backbone of the soundtrack remains the same. It still carries that signature Assassin's Creed atmosphere, but now with a slightly more mature tone. Ezio is older, more experienced, and the music reflects that. It encapsulates his growth into more of a leader, which ties in nicely with the story. Sound design overall does its job. It's not particularly standout, but it's consistent and, again, familiar. The kind of audio you recognize without even thinking about. Voice acting, on the other hand, feels like a step up. Not because it was bad before, but because here there's more to work with.
Ezio Auditore! Come in, come in! I'll kill you if you don't.
Bartolomeo.
You already know these characters, so when they return, there's an immediate sense of familiarity. It feels like you've built a rapport with them, which makes the interactions more engaging. And even though I personally still wish they had more dialogue and were more fleshed out, it never overstays its welcome.
Who put you up to this? Was it your brother or your father? Perhaps a bit of both? Perhaps at the same time?
Chiudi la bocca! None speak ill of the Borgia!
To be fair, the writing definitely carries some of that weight, but the delivery itself is consistently solid. Hey, would you like to do me a solid? If you're enjoying this video, hitting that like button genuinely helps out a lot.
That was pretty awesome.
I appreciate you.
It just felt natural.
The same way Desmond appreciates Lucy. Wait a minute. Graphically, Brotherhood feels more like a refinement of Assassin's Creed 2 than a full leap forward. It's clearly built on the same engine, just improved. The biggest change? They've dropped that heavy, foggy filter from AC2, something I never really understood in the first place. Without it, everything looks cleaner, sharper, more confident. It's a small change, but it makes a noticeable difference. I did run into some issues early on though, stuttering and flickering, similar to AC2, but this time a simple restart fixed it completely. Near the end, I also hit a strange bug where a cutscene wouldn't trigger and characters just kept endlessly fighting. I managed to fix it by adjusting the refresh rate, but it's worth noting that things like VSync or CPU settings might need tweaking depending on your setup. I've left the link below in case you experience the same issue. Where Brotherhood really stands out though, is in its direction, especially in the cutscenes. Everything's more dramatic, the camera angles are less conventional, the action sequences are more impactful. It feels like the team had more confidence this time and more freedom to experiment. Character models though are a bit of a mixed bag. Most look similar with minor updates, but some stand out quite a lot, Katarina being one of them. It's not necessarily bad, but definitely noticeable. And occasionally, you'll notice something about the faces feeling slightly off, especially the eyes. Again, not terrible, just a little uncanny at times. The story is where Brotherhood surprised me the most. Much like the direction, the writing feels more confident, but it's not overly serious. There's a sense of playfulness here.
Don't you dare.
The game really leans into its characters and the natural charm they bring. Some missions genuinely caught me off guard with how funny they were.
Nothing hangs between your thighs. In fact, there is a hole there, so deep it reaches into the maledetto inferno!
It feels like the developers leaned into the absurdity a bit more, without worrying about going too far. There's a stronger sense of personality across the board. And while most of your time is still spent with Ezio, Desmond and the modern day crew get more attention this time around, something that felt lacking in the first two games.
Sometimes I feel so disconnected from everything out there.
They finally feel like actual characters, rather than just a framing device.
Think how great you'll feel when we finally stop the Templars.
I'm not sure it will ever end, Desmond. I can't do this forever.
What I think the writing did really well was to incorporate the Assassin's Guild element into the gameplay. The Brotherhood system of recruiting assassins, sending them on missions, building a network, feels like a natural evolution of the series. It fits perfectly with Ezio's development. He's no longer just an assassin, he's a leader, and forming this Brotherhood feels like a natural next step. Alongside that, the old villa system has been expanded too. Instead of managing a single town, you're rebuilding an entire city, restoring shops, opening banks, investing in blacksmiths, and gradually bringing Rome back to life. And of course, you have your base of operations, an underground hideout. It's not massive, but like Assassin's Creed 2, seeing your weapons, upgrades, accomplishments, and progress physically fill the space adds a real sense of ownership. It feels earned. Hey, if you're enjoying the video so far, or just like video games, you might like to subscribe.
My Lady Bianca will whisper it in your ear!
And if you played Brotherhood before, I'm curious, did you play it back in the day? How did it hold up at the time? Gameplay builds directly on Assassin's Creed 2 without forcing you to relearn everything. There's a soft reset with gear, but progression feels natural. Virtual training is a smart addition by bridging that gap. It's optional but helpful, especially for newer players to the series. The combat is still simple with some variety, but not especially deep. Where the game improves is progression and scale. Fast travel through underground tunnels is a great quality of life addition, both simple and efficient. Exploration feels larger, and features like the Borgia Towers add some much needed variety to the usual viewpoint system. However, the world is still segmented. The map often shows viewpoints in locked areas, which can waste time if you're trying to clear things efficiently. It's a small issue, a bit of a nitpick, but it does break the flow. Side content though stands out, especially Leonardo's War Machine missions. These side quests incorporate your current skill set, but also feature new gameplay mechanics to keep things fresh. Definitely some of my favourite parts of the game. Unfortunately, some of the older issues still exist. Controls can be inconsistent. Movement, climbing and parkour are mostly fine, but can feel frustrating at times, especially in tighter spaces, tense moments, or timed sections. Switching between controller and keyboard and mouse isn't seamless either. Unlike before, it requires manual changes, which is odd because from memory it wasn't an issue in the second game. It's not game breaking, but it's noticeable. Then there's the Uplay pop-ups. They're not little obscure notifications in the corner, they appear right in your face and it just breaks immersion. Luckily they don't appear often, but I still hate them. Multiplayer is understandably no longer accessible, but some DLC, including the Da Vinci Disappearance, is unavailable unless you own the deluxe version. The worst part though is Ubisoft Connect, an absolute plague. Even through Steam, you're forced to log in repeatedly, and it doesn't even reliably remember your details. It just adds unnecessary friction. As I said earlier, I wasn't that keen to play through this one. I came in expecting something I'd get through out of obligation, just to reach the more popular entries. But what I got instead was a game that refines what came before, expands on it in meaningful ways, and still holds on to the heart of the original. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood feels like a game where the developers themselves have grown. They're more confident, more willing to experiment, and more open to pushing things further. Don't get me wrong, it's not without its issues, Ubisoft Connect for example, but I did still manage to have fun with this one.
I know how to have fun.
It's certainly not perfect, but for those that don't mind older games or are feeling a bit nostalgic, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood is worth playing today.
Bloody third world country!
You're talking about Italy.
No, Europe in general.
If you've managed to sit through this whole video, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to let me know what else you'd like to see in the comments. Hopefully, I'll catch you in the next one.